Welcome to Videogamephantom, where we talk about video games a whole lot. I'm Phantom, and today we are discussing the first official free-roam FNAF game, and probably the largest mascot horror game to my knowledge, FNAF Security Breach, a survival/mascot horror indie game where you play as Gregory trying to escape a massive shopping mall filled with hidden lore, secrets, and of course, a corrupted cast of animatronic characters. While this game has flaws around every single corner, from progression to enemy encounters, there were also many parts of this experience that were quite amazing actually. So today, we're going to check out 5 of these qualities and do what I do best, talk about why they're so great and why they work so well with fancy smancy diagrams and stuff, and also how we may be able to learn from them. If any of this interests you, consider subscribing, it would mean a lot to me. Similarly, if this video does well enough, I may just do an entire series trying to fix the many flaws of this game. But since that's not even the point of the video, let's stop shamelessly promoting my future endeavors and cutting this already long intro here by getting to point number 1. Roll the tape. One of my absolute favorite things about Security Breach is the collectibles you can find scattered across the Pizzaplex. They come in many different variants, but most are some sort of merchandise that would be sold at the Pizzaplex itself. Stuff like shirts, plushies, magnets, and figurines. These all help to build a sense of realism to this gigantic mall that Gregory finds himself in. But not only does it provide a sense of realism, but also a fun side activity that allows you to explore some areas of Pizzaplex more thoroughly than before. For example, I'm going to bring out my punching bag from the 5 Flaws of Security Breach episode, which, if you haven't seen, go check it out, because I absolutely brutalized the encounters of this area. If you haven't caught up yet, I'm talking about Monty Golf. But in a good way this time! When you head to Monty Golf, your goal is to go and collect a single pass for Mazercise, and also a Faz Cam. However, Monty Golf is a sprawling area of the Pizzaplex with 2 floors, back areas, and ball pits. Since you only have one single objective, which is to find the single pass in the back, there's not really a point to exploring the entirety of Monty Golf, other than to find these collectibles, which in this case are hidden next to prominent areas of the map, like this house and this camper. But what this also does is it forces us to go out of our way to explore a route on the opposite side of our objective, also getting us to swim in this otherwise useless ball pit. Whee! Collecting collectibles is also just a joy in itself. It gives purpose to the exploration of the underused areas of Security Breach, and it also gives life to gameplay segments where you would otherwise just be monotonously dodging around the hundreds of security bots swarming you like ants. And the last great thing about collectibles in Security Breach is that sometimes these collectibles are also upgrades, which can make the battery life of your flashlight or even Freddy increase. Sometimes even your running speed or stamina. I do have a small issue with these, and it's that there's no visually distinctive look that these upgrade presents have, rather than just a useless regular collectible, which I feel would make collecting these upgrades just so much easier and much more exciting. Security Breach's supposed design philosophy with these collectibles is placing them to encourage exploration, but not just this, placing them in visually distinct locations, not just laying them out in every single random corner. They'll be found in ticket booths, behind the counter, in a bathroom stall, anywhere that a player wouldn't normally visit. That's where you'll find a hidden collectible. You know where else you can find hidden collectibles? In the DJ Music Man area. And you know what you're listening to in the DJ Music Man area? Security Breach has many aspects about it that feel unfinished, rushed, or even downright awful. Whether it's glitches or the terrible save system, you cannot deny the flaws that this game has. But one thing that is unquestionably good about Security Breach is its music and sound design. The composer of Security Breach's soundtrack is Alan Simpson, who also did some music for The Simpsons TV show, which I'm sure you've heard of. His work in Security Breach's soundtrack is fantastic, consisting of many ambient tracks, multiple bangers, and emotional pieces of music that tell a better story than the game itself. We will get to that in a bit. For now, let's start with those ambient tracks. Security Breach's music comes into play most times when you are wandering around the expanse of the Pizzaplex. It will most commonly be these ambient tracks that fill in the silence while you march on to your next destination. It would be serene if it weren't for interruptions. I'm fine! Psych! I'm not fine! Some of these songs echo a sort of melancholic peace, within their tunes, which works for the situation Gregory finds himself in. The ambiance is quiet, but it's still there, echoing in your mind. Similarly to those, we have a more horror-oriented ambiance. You know, the songs that play when the moon is hunting you down, or a bunch of spooky endoskeletons. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did I just mention those and not, like, any other encounter with any animatronic? Well, because in every encounter with your basic animatronic, which is every animatronic basically, this song will play. It's not bad. But also, it's the same song every time. Like, some variety would be nice every once in a while. Just saying. It's actually like an issue that this song, which in my opinion isn't one of the highlights of the soundtrack, is played just so often. It kind of drags down the soundtrack just a little bit. Sorry, I'll start talking about you now. I promise. And starting with the man, the myth, the legend, Music Man. I talk so often about how this section is probably the best part of FNAF Security Breach in my opinion, due to its amazing character, level design, and objective-based goals. But what makes this sequence all the more awesome is his theme blaring in the background, not just in your earbuds, but in the game as well. The lore says that the DJ can make improvised music, meaning that the song that's playing in the game is just something that the DJ composed just to kick your ass, which is hilarious and makes it just that more awesome. Talking about the music itself, it is just so great, having a total of 5 parts of the song, each for a different scenario, building as you get each fuse till the end where it's a chase sequence. It sets a perfect mood for this getaway, and is why this sequence is just so intense. And then my favorite song in the game is the end credits theme, for when you either save Vanny or disassemble Vanny. Conveying so much emotion and sadness through the classical music of the piano, to a transition to the most uplifting, eerie calls of the electric instrument. I don't know what it is. This song brings a beautiful ending to this character that should have held more focus throughout the runtime of the game. But that's not really a part of this episode, is it? Please listen to the song in its entirety, as it is a beautiful composition. Well done, Alan Simpson. Well done. As for things we can learn from the music, I don't know, make good music? Ambient tracks that, like a good YouTube video, fill up the dead space in between stealth and exploration. And then if the situation calls for it, destroy our brains with the insane beats of a giant DJ spider, or some other scenario along those lines. A good soundtrack can make even a bad game beautiful, as Alan Simpson has proven with this beautiful credits theme. But you know what else is beautiful about Security Breach? The graphics! And while that's not what my next point is, I can assure you that they go hand in hand. Character design is literally the main selling point of a mascot horror game. If your character design is bad... Oh jeez, sorry, I'm allergic to bad character design. Get that off the screen, please. Thank you. So if your mascot sucks, then your mascot horror game isn't going to do so hot now, is it? Security Breach understands this, and it's clear that an effort was put into making sure every character looks nice and clean while on the screen. That's just graphically, however, which is not the purpose of this point either. What I'm talking specifically about is from a character design perspective, which Security Breach just nails on the head. From Freddy to Roxy to the rotting corpse in the basement, every design has great colors, great looks, and overall great design. While they're not super spooky, they do work for a mascot horror game, and they actually get really freaky once the shells come off. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when they get broken, when Chica gets flattened like a pancake, when Monty gets crushed by a bucket, when Roxy gets hit by a car. These are pretty terrible deaths for these people, huh? The designs are twisted in a way that take the original form of the animatronic and just make them super duper, like, gross and creepy. I especially like Roxy's twisted form, with wires coming out of her eyes like tears. I could talk about the designs of every character for hours on end. But how about we do something fun instead? Like a tier list! Yes, I'm doing this. No one can stop me. It will take 2 seconds. It's fine, okay? Who the hell is this? Helpy. He goes in A. He's cute. What is this? The Blob. I really like the Blob, personally. I don't really get the reasons that people hate the Blob. It's pretty cool. I don't get it. D. Don't care. Burn Trap. B. He's pretty cool, honestly. I like his purple eyes. You just don't see him that often. You only see the one cutscene of him coming out, and that's it. Moon Man. Scary as hell. A. Sun Man. Similar. A. You go to hell. You are amazing. DJ Music Man. How can you go wrong with DJ Music Man? When he's chasing you, he's really spooky. I didn't like them. C. Those are awesome. A. No. There. Chica's my favorite, personally. I think Chica's the creepiest one that's in normal form. I think it just has something to do with her eyes. I don't like how they look. Ugh. Bonnie. I don't see him. C. Glamrock Freddy. I hate you with a burning passion. I hate everything you stand for. I hate what you did to this game. But I can't say that you're bad character design, so I'll put you in B. Mr. Hippo? Is that who that is? C. Gregory. He's kind of boring, but he is a character, and that's more than we could say for most games in the FNAF franchise. B. No. Wait, that's the Map Man. Never mind. B. Monty. Hot. Ignore that. Vanessa. Also hot. Roxy. Similarly. I've said it before. You know what I'm gonna say. What is that? Oh, God. Oh, God. Just throw it down there. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Chica, less creepy when she's broken. I think they could have used the teeth. I think they could have put teeth in there, and that would have made it creepier. B. Nice reference to FNAF 2, though. Broken Monty, similarly, not that spooky. Broken Roxy, as I talked about earlier, really cool design. Wires coming out of her face like tears, and her eyes are missing. It's just kind of really freaky. The way she moves is spooky. Vanessa, Vanny, I mean, definitely not the same person. Also S tier. So goddamn scary. If you're wondering why I did a tier list instead of talking about the character design, I am not a character design person. I would just say if you're a character design person and you're trying to make a mascot horror game, make the characters cute and cuddly, but when they're chasing you, give them something that's unsettling in a way that's like not what Garden of Banban did. And if you don't know what Garden of Banban is, don't look it up. Alright, back to you, scripted me. Have fun. For your mascot horror game, nailing the mascot is a good step forward in making the game a success, as Security Breach shows with its flawless character design. Whether it's an animatronic bear or a living stuffed animal, your mascot has to have not only good design, but personality. Otherwise, you'll get a living crayon drawing of a creature as your mascot. Jesus. And if that's the design you've chosen, take my advice and hide that thing you've created behind a secret wall in the basement that can only be unlocked by a camera flash. Oh, speaking of which. Secrets are a staple in the FNAF franchise. Ever since this moment in FNAF 1 with the Golden Freddy Easter egg, they've appeared in every FNAF game since, showing up sometimes after a death has happened, sometimes by typing a code into a set of tiles on the wall, and even driving a car off a road. No, not like that! So it's fairly obvious that in the first free roam FNAF game, there will be plenty of secrets, right? Well, yes, and also no. Unfortunately, it seems like we actually missed out on a plethora of secrets that sadly were likely scrapped due to time. Multiple arcade minigames appear to have been scrapped due to time constraints. There is plenty of footage of people looking in the game code and finding entire bowling minigames that were likely for, like, Bonnie Bowl. But does all that scrap stuff hold Security Breach's secrets back? Actually, not even a little bit. This game is filled to the brim with secrets, from little Easter eggs to entire endings. While these secrets most of the time don't lead to anything special, there is one that gets the best ending of Security Breach, which is the Freeing Vanny ending, in which you find 3 different Princess Quest arcade games found across the Pizzaplex to get to this special ending of Security Breach. But these arcade machines aren't just hidden in plain sight, oh no. They are off the beaten path in places that you technically don't have to go. You do actually go to the DJ Music Man chase hallway, but obviously you're not going to be standing around in there for much longer, because, you know. But besides this one example, the other secrets have nothing to do with any real reward other than finding them. After beating both Chica and Monty and taking both of their upgrades and putting them on Freddy, you can take Freddy to the beginning segment of the game where you can head down and find a present and a bag with some information in it. But if you listen very closely, you can hear some kind of television program playing in the background. And if you hop in Freddy, you'll see with Roxy's eyes that have some sort of X-ray vision, there is some sort of purple block in the wall. By taking a picture with the Fazcam, you'll find a small hidden door that leads to a room shown in Sister Location. This is the same room where you watch TV shows and eat your exotic butters.
Exotic butters.
This is a pretty cool secret itself, but similarly is this tape player, which any FNAF theorist right now is deeply familiar with. Around the Pizzaplex are hidden nameless CDs that only appear once Freddy gets Roxy's eyeballs. There are a bunch of these found all over the place, floating mysteriously till you collect them. And once collected, you can shove them into this tape player, and then have your theories thrown out a window when these therapy tapes begin to play. While the contents of this tape are very interesting, just the secret itself is super interesting. Other secrets similar to this is the Balloon Boy World arcade machine, hidden in the theater. Don't see it? Well, don't worry, because as you might expect, some exploration is in order. See, the poster here is filled with a bunch of pirate versions of the original FNAF cast. And you might have noticed individual posters of these characters, perhaps not the Bonnie one or the Chica one, but this Freddy one in the backstage area sticks out like a sore thumb. After taking a picture of all 4 of these cardboard cutouts, the poster is revealed to be a door leading to this room and the BB World arcade game. It's actually really cool to see such a hidden room after accomplishing this wide task. However, I have literally no idea how anyone could find this without a guide. The one problem I have with this secret is that, well, quite frankly, there's not a single thing telling you how to get to this secret. The one hint you are given is a note relating to the fact that the arcade machine is somewhere within the theater, but nothing telling you what your goal actually is. The poster definitely sticks out like a sore thumb, being one of the only glowing things in the theater area. But other than that, it's very hard to pick up the exact goals of what you are supposed to do. Suffice to say, it's a very fun task to work hard for a secret in a game, and just because it's convoluted in a way, doesn't mean it's not cool when you find it. That's the thing about Security Breach. Its secrets work because of the world you were surrounded in. Going around a bland and uninteresting area would have made this secret annoying, but the world of Security Breach isn't like that, is it? By far the best part of Security Breach, in my humble opinion, is the design of the world around you. And I don't just mean graphically, because obviously that's quite impressive. With the grandiose size of the Pizzaplex, it feels hard to believe that every inch of it is coated with interesting and well-designed areas. Places like Fazerblast truly feel like an arena where you could battle your friends or strangers in a high-tech game of laser tag. This is also shown in Monty Golf, with its multitudes of unique courses that clearly show that it is a really well thought out mini golf course. And these are just 2 examples. You can find these everywhere. The main atrium, the kitchens, and the Fazcade all feel like real areas that a family would go to play in. They took the premise of a Freddy's game inside of a massive mall/amusement park and went crazy, obviously spending a lot of time making sure that every area could actually function as a real Pizzaplex. There are so many shops, places where people can eat, games to play, concession stands, show stages, everything feels exactly like a park would feel. And while I personally have no experience working at any sort of place like this, the areas behind the scenes similarly have this same craftsmanship put into every corner. Do I have any idea if it actually looks like that on the other side of a park? I don't. But it sure feels right in many cases. The only places where realism is off the table are Obviously, the amount of elevators connecting area to area, which literally would never happen. At least not to this absurd degree. But I think my point has been made. Unfortunately, I think this design choice and premise was one of the many leading factors that led to Security Breach's demise. A lot of time was obviously put into the map layout, so stuff like gameplay, AI, and perhaps even the story was probably last on the list, because nothing would work without the Pizzaplex to explore. But we can't know for sure. All we know is that we have the game that we have, and there were an extreme amount of flaws in it, many of which overshadowed the entire game. But there were many times where the original vision shined through, and showed us that even in this mess of a game, there are still good things about it. But not enough to stop me from going back and fixing this garbage pile! If you want to see me struggle at piecing together this broken game, show some support by liking this video and leaving a comment. If this video does well, I'm planning on doing a 5-part series remaking Security Breach from the ground up. We'll fix the story, the areas, even Freddy Fazbear himself. But I need to know if that effort is worth it in the long run before I commit to it. So let me know in those comments below. But until then, I'm Videogamephantom, and that was a video you just finished. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the second scripted video sequel to, obviously, the 5 problems with Security Breach. And I think I did a good job conveying some good things about this game. Obviously, Security Breach is a very flawed experience, but it still has some things that I really enjoyed in my playthrough. Obviously overshadowed by the more flaws in it, but, you know, still good in many ways. But in like 2 weeks or so, we're going to try and fix the entirety of Security Breach, and the first video that will be coming out on that will be level design. That is, if this succeeds. If it doesn't, then probably not. Sorry. I don't want to put a lot of effort into something that isn't going to get watched. No offense, guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.